Hello, hello, and ahoy hoy. I am, of course, Miss Tootie Odin, here with you for the first time this week, being a Tuesday in it. Um, Last week was fun. I had a good time, certainly had a good time doing the episodes we did last week. Go check them out if you haven't. We did my top 5 favorite cartoons. That was so much fun to do. It was definitely a lot of fun. And then before that, I did do somewhat of an opinionated review on the Grammy Awards that happened 2 Sundays ago. Um, this past Sunday, we did have the Super Bowl here in the United States. I'm pretty sure people around the world watched it, but that was also didn't come without its own controversies. So uh, us here in the United States love to fight about a whole lot of nothing when there's a whole lot of other some things going on in the world. So it's been a fun and entertaining week in the world of pop culture. Watching all the back and forths, watching everybody get exposed through their very, very heated opinions. So it's been fun to watch. I'll say that. But yes, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't yet, especially if this is like your third or fourth time watching. You know what I mean? Like, do me that favor. Also, if you end up liking this video, I'm not going to ask you to leave a thumbs up now. You don't have to because, what if you don't like it? What if there's things that I say that you don't like? I don't want to feel like I'm tying your hands just because you're sitting here watching it. So if you do like it, though, please, by all means, leave a thumbs up. It'd be very, very much appreciated. So in today's episode, I am actually going to be talking about Dave Chappelle's latest stand-up special. It actually was sneakily dropped late last year in December of 2025. He was doing the back and forth thing with Netflix about its release. Hold on, I do have chat. Oh, hello, what's going on? Let's see. All right, hello boys, how are you? It's good to see both of you actually, and anybody else who decides to join in. But yeah, so Dave Chappelle released this special in December. I saw it as a Christmas gift. I absolutely love Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is the sole reason why I myself got into comedy and dipped my toes into that industry, and still to this day do my best to dip my toes into the industry, even though the industry has changed a lot. It's very dog eat dog in the worst ways possible, even more so now than it was in the past. There is elitist groups in comedy now. So if you're not part of the club, if you're not part of that group, you're probably not going to make it as a comedian. So there's that. But Dave Chappelle is in a class all on his own. There's nothing and nobody that can compare to him. He literally pioneered the formula and what good stand-up is and what good stand-up is supposed to be. The very first special that I saw him, I think it was actually his very first special, and it came out on HBO, was Killing Them Softly. That came out in the year 2000, and man, was it fucking hilarious. I remember being in high school and quoting it constantly. There isn't a single part of that album that wasn't quotable. The entire thing is quotable, and I think I know most of it till this day. So good. Such a good album. Hey, baby. Everything about it is good. That was like towards the end of it, but like there's so much more. There's Dave, I'm gonna race him. Like if you've seen that stand up, or if you haven't seen that stand up, highly recommend. Again, probably Dave's first one, probably his best one, to be honest. This for me, this last one that he made was called The Unstoppable. Now that isn't the entire title. If you try to look up the entire title, I was trying to have Chat GPT help me earlier today summarize some things. Usually when I ask AI to help me with summaries and whatnot, I'll take what they say and then I'll write it in my own words, and then I'll add or subtract whatever I want. I still want to put in the work, but I don't mind having a little help in doing that. So I asked it in its full title. Can you give me an outline summary of Dave Chappelle's The Unstoppable. But I said the entire title. Now the problem is, and the reason why Netflix um, was so not willing to let Dave Chappelle put the special out was because the entire title is called The Unstoppable N-Word Act. I don't want to. I could say the word. I don't really care so much about it. It's just a fucking word. Reason why I won't say it is because it's YouTube. And it's not necessary. You already know what word I'm talking about. Um, Now it's the Unstoppable Hard R Act. So they go in. He just goes all in. With if you look up the special, you'll just see the Unstoppable. As I was saying, when I was trying to get some help from ChatGPT, it couldn't find it anywhere. It started gaslighting me and saying, maybe you're misremembering the title. Maybe you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I know. I just watched it. So I definitely know, what it's called. Um, but yeah, if you try to look it up anywhere, you won't find it with its full title. You'll just find it as The Unstoppable, which is interesting. And again, the reason why Netflix was not willing to put it out when Dave Chappelle wanted it out. However, somehow I don't know the full backstory to the Netflix Dave Chappelle squabble, but it was released. It was released in December 2025 with no advertisements, no announcements, no thing on Instagram. You won't find it on his Instagram before before he Netflix dropped it. So it literally did just drop out of nowhere. I don't know if there was a contract issue where Netflix had their hands tied. Either way, it was dropped, and it was dropped in a way that nobody knew it was coming out. So I think even till this day, a lot of people don't know that Dave Chappelle made another special. And I think that too has its own reasons as to why people don't know it exists and why it's being hid behind a veil, so to speak. And we'll get there. I plan to break it down as much as possible with you guys today. I had a really hard time finding good clips. I was trying to watch one that was on YouTube. The quality of the video was super bad. So once I tried to download it and stream it, by the time it would get to this screen, it probably would have looked even shittier. So I didn't use it. Also, the person edited it in a way where all the fucking jokes were missing. Like, not one fucking punchline was caught. So I was like, what's the point in this? So yeah, that was shitty. Shame on you, whoever did that. You literally stole content from Netflix and kept out all the best parts. Like, you suck. Like, YouTube kind of sucks sometimes. That was a big gripe. Also, the fact that I have to like dodge all this shit to not get copyright strikes, and I haven't gotten one yet, thank God. But I do get restricted, so my videos a lot of times don't get the viewership that I would like them to, simply because they're blocked in a lot of areas because of copyright, which also really, really sucks. So I did my best. We have I do have a handful of things I do want to share with you, but most of it will be audio. So turn your volume up. Turn these shits up. Anyway, Dave Chappelle show. Yeah, turn your volume up. You can, as I share these, we'll hear them together, and then we'll go from there. So the first thing I actually wanted to share with you guys is Dave Chappelle actually goes into the story of where he lives in Ohio, and how he's purchasing all kinds of property in Ohio and kind of making the little town that he lives in sort of his own. Just sort of building up this idea that because he's Black, this shouldn't be possible. And he didn't say it in that way. He didn't even really imply it. I think it was more. I think it was more, I'm Black and look what I was able to achieve, type of conversation, and sort of flipping it on its head in that the whites, as he said it, this is the opportunity that they're given often. You know what I mean? To own property everywhere. I mean, what is it? Is it the Lakers owner that owns 60% of Los Angeles, or Magic Johnson? Maybe it's Magic Johnson. He Black. But I think I think there's one person who owns like the majority of the city of Los Angeles, and it's a private um person. It's not like a governor or anything like that. It's like somebody who owns the Lakers or something. Um, and Dave Chappelle was basically talking about that, how he now owns this and that. He has an amazing comedy club, and it's on my bucket list to go see what's up at his comedy club. It's a good, if you know Dave Chappelle, you know that he loves music, and it's a good mix of music and comedy, and I think that's amazing. So it'd be really awesome to actually go to Ohio and see what is going on there. And seeing how personal Dave Chappelle actually is when it comes to him and his fan base and his comedy and his home. I think it's actually beautiful. Um, so yeah, he starts off with that, kind of, and of course Taylor making jokes, in between. Then he moves on to talk about P Diddy a little bit. He mentions how P. Diddy saved his life when he was attacked on stage a few years ago. He mentions a little bit about Diddy's background and what he knows and what he noticed, um, and uh, uh, and how he noticed things, but nothing so different from any other party or celebrity that he's encountered through his career. Um, and it's interesting actually, because as he's talking about P Diddy, he's also mentioning his experiences and his encounters with Nipsey Hussle. If you do not know who Nipsey Hussle is, he is a very prolific hip hop artist who was killed, I think in 2019. I don't know. If you guys know, feel free to correct me. But he was killed. He was brutally murdered, in the streets, in the very streets that he was trying to own himself. He was building a legacy in a clothing company. I think it's called Marathon. But he was trying to build a legacy, and he was trying to own property in his hometown of, I don't think it's Inglewood, but it's Crenshaw. Basically, he lived in the Crenshaw district, and he was trying to make all of Crenshaw part of his community, and he wanted his people to hold value in where they live, and that was all taken away. The second he passed away, everything was taken away. Um, we'll get back to that. Actually, we'll get back to that, because there's certain things that Dave Chappelle actually noticed, um, again, throughout his career, throughout his partying, throughout his networking and meeting people, that in some instances he was warned that, hey, like, whatever you do, be careful, because the FBI is here and they're surveilling us. And the way that they would know that is they would give each other signals. Now, this is happening in real time. This is happening in Hollywood. This is happening in clubs. This is happening behind the scenes in all these places, to all the people that we grew up with and loved, all the people that we love now, that we admire, that we like to see on TV, that we like to laugh at, laugh with, sing with, etc. But he said that the way that they would warn other celebrities that the FBI was actually listening in and surveilling them, was that the lights would be different. The lighting in the club would change. And again, it would be a coded signal to them, saying, hey, be careful what you do and what you say, because they're here. He said that on the very last time he encountered Nipsey Hussle, that he went to a party for his album, an album release party for Nipsey Hussle, and he noticed that the lighting was different. He noticed that the same thing that had happened in previous parties was happening that night. I think a month or two later is when Nipsey Hussle was actually killed. After this, and Dave Chappelle very vulnerably mentions that how that affected him, how it sort of terrified him, um, but how noticeable it was. So there's that. So the first thing I'm actually going to play for you guys is a clip of him talking about Puff Daddy. Share. Unfortunately, I only was able to find these in shorts, which sucks. Um, yeah, I had a hell of a time looking for decent content about this subject. So I had almost um, I was almost tempted to just record it on my phone on the TV in Netflix, like I've done in the past. I've done that in the past, um, but I was like, no, I don't want to go back to doing that. So here we go.
Was the guy that tackled my attacker. He saved my life. It's a hard nigga to be mad at after that. I had security that night, but you know what I mean? They just wasn't ready. Them had some slippery shoes on, or something, they ran out. All them slipped and fell. And Puffy got my attacker and tackled him. And then years later, when I heard about that baby oil, I was like, what did those niggas slip on?
That's funny. That is too good. I mean, right? Though, imagine. So there was not anything cryptic in that message at all. It's just, I just wanted to give you guys an example of how clever Dave Chappelle was in actually recreating his opinions and expressing his opinions about certain people, and how he was able to joke about it. I think he's still friends with Diddy. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how close they are. He did mention that when somebody saves your life, it's hard to be mad at them for other things that they've done. It gets deeper, you guys. He gets a little bit deeper, and when it comes full circle, you learn that all of these people are connected in one way or another. It's so brilliant the way he does it. Now, he set up his stand-up. He about a half an hour in, he told the audience, I have two closers and I'm going to start them now. And he says, one closer I did when I was in Saudi Arabia. The other closer is specifically for you. So he does end up doing both. Oh my, it's just so brilliant. But he does he did do the, what was it called? The festival in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh Festival, I think it was, where him and a handful of other comedians, very well-known comedians, went and did a festival in Saudi Arabia. He was scrutinized for it, along with the rest of them. They were all very much scrutinized for doing a show there, because they're the 9/11 guys. So how dare you never forget? And I get it. I get that sentiment. You know what I mean? I'm a 9/11 kid. I'm still really fucked up in the head today because of 9/11. 9/11 changed me to the point where I became crazy lady. I became crazy auntie. I became tinfoil hat, and I still am to this day that person. And we're gonna get there, I promise. Oh my God, I'm still that person till this day, because 9/11 didn't sit well with me. When something in your gut doesn't sit well, you got to shit it out, like, right? So either you have to express it. It has to come out, or you will go actually insane. You have to express what you're feeling and the connections that you think you're probably making. And it turns out, what, almost 30 years after 9/11, a lot of the stuff that was coming to light for me personally back then at 17 years old is finally coming to light for the rest of the world today. It doesn't feel good to see it, if I'm being honest. I'm not in a I told you so mood about it, because the things that I had to go through, the cognitive dissonance that I had to experience, is now being experienced by the majority of America, the majority of the world, that has internet access and has the access to make these connections and ask these questions and get the answers to these questions. I feel bad. I feel bad for a lot of people, because it can't be good. I went through it already years ago. All the really dark, heavy shit, I went through it a long time ago, and it's not easy. It's not easy. There's things that you hear, there's things that you see that is like actual substantial evidence that our leaders are really disgusting and really fucked up people. I just, there's a lot that I won't mention, you because I don't really want people to know as much as I did as a young person. And don't you guys see it? Can't you guys see it? And begging people and protesting and all this other stuff. And now I guess because I'm older now, I don't want people to go through what I went through when it came to that. And let me prove it to you by showing you this video of Hillary Clinton cutting off a child's face. Like, it's unbelievable. And it's real. And it's terrifying. And it's unforgettable. The worst we got to see collectively as Americans, physically, was of obviously the tragedy of 9/11, the people falling out of the towers live on television, hearing the smacks as they hit the ground and knowing exactly what that sound was, the Nick Berg beheading, which was blasted all over YouTube in 2001, I believe. We were at war with who knows, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia. We were at war with those guys, and Nick Berg was captured. He was either an American tourist or an American soldier, but he was captured, and they beheaded him live on TV. They beheaded him, and the video spread like wildfire, and a lot of Americans saw that. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was the very last one, and coincidentally, it happened on September 10th, the day before September 11th. It just happened a few months ago, 5 months ago, actually. Is today the 10th? What's today? 5 months ago, exactly. Holy crap. So these are images that stay with us, and they're wicked. They're wicked images that just stay ingrained in our brains, and we play them over and over and over, and the smacks of the bodies of hitting glass and then hitting the floor, and you hear, and it's just like, oh shit, like it stays, it's stuck. That for the rest of my life will be in my head for the rest of my life. There isn't going to be a day, especially a September 11th, that I'm not gonna not remember. I think the never forget is actually implied when it comes to 9/11, because if you watched it, you're never going to forget. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. But I digress. So yeah, he talks about P. Diddy, and he makes these connections where certain parties, certain events he goes to or went to, the lights would be different, the lights would change. And he admitted, well, I have nothing to hide. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not some fucking criminal. I'm not gross. But he still was given that warning by other celebrities, other comedians, other people who were watching his back. He then goes into, again, like talking about Saudi Arabia and how he actually had more freedom speaking his mind and saying his jokes in Saudi Arabia than he did here in the United States. And the reason why he said that is because when he was here in America, when he did his 2 stand-ups ago or 3 stand-ups ago, I think, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Sticks and Stones. But he did transgender jokes when it was all the rage to popularize the transgender community and to stand in solidarity with them, because apparently we were being told that they were on the rise of being the highest in suicide rates. And so there's certain buzzwords that the media likes to throw out to us so that we think twice about having an opinion about something. We think twice about having a different opinion about something. And suicide's probably one of those words. It's probably a word I shouldn't be saying now, if I'm being very honest. So he talks about Saudi Arabia, and he mentions, well, you guys canceled me. America canceled him, or tried anyway. They tried to destroy him. They tried to destroy his career over jokes. So I see his point. Again, I see our point. The 9/11 people, I see it. But I see his point. I have that audio as well. There's not anywhere near enough nail files in this episode for me, but I'll see it through. Boo, I got you. If you want me to bust them out, I got you. Okay, they're right here. They're ready to go. You just say the word, babe. You're silly. All right, so I got something for you. It is. Oh, I gotta pull it up. A little snippet about Dave Chappelle's experience with Saudi Arabia. I closed my file, so I gotta reopen it. Give me 1 second. Thank you, Ed. Shout out, Ed. You guys, all the way from New Zealand. All the way from New Zealand, watching here. I couldn't be more thrilled to see you. Share. Lone. Hi, Lone. We got two hip-hop artists in the house at the same time. One is all the way in New Zealand. The other is all the way in, I don't remember, Paris. Are you in Paris? Somewhere over there. I love Paris, by the way. Not that Paris. Not the Jay-Z, Kanye Paris, you guys. Okay, hold on 1 second. I shouldn't have closed it because now I'm taking forever. Okay, I think this one is audio only, so my apologies.
These niggas clown me because I was on stage in Saudi Arabia. I didn't tell them to put this in the paper. I just said it on stage. I said it's easier to talk in Saudi Arabia for me than it is in America. And niggas felt some kind of way. Oh, I stand 10 toes on that. Don't forget what I just went through. 2 years ago, I almost got canceled right here in the United States for transgender jokes. But I gotta tell you something. Transgender jokes went over very well in Saudi Arabia. And they couldn't get enough of that shit. I was in the pocket. I was like, where have you been? Every article said the comedians hoard themselves out to a dictator, but all the articles have my picture on it. You know what? I can't even get mad, because, you know, to be fair, I did make more money than all of those comedians. I don't even work at Netflix no more. You know what my new job is? I sit by the phone and wait for them Arabs to call me. Can I help you guys? What do you
need? Did you hear that last part? He said, I don't even work for Netflix anymore. I don't even work for Netflix anymore. It makes me wonder how true that actually is. You know what I mean? Like, is this why he was able to just have the power to put out the special without Netflix's actual permission? It was put out on Netflix. It was unannounced and put out on Netflix. But how much power does Dave Chappelle actually have that he was able to do that? No announcement, no nothing from Netflix outside of it's dropped on Netflix. That's it. Like, how much power did he actually provide or gain for himself? Did Saudi Arabia help him? You know what I mean? Like, all these questions aren't answerable because we don't actually know the story behind how Dave Chappelle actually pushed to get this out when he did. And why was it so urgent to put it out in the first place? So yeah, that was him with Saudi Arabia. The very next thing he goes into is sidebar. Given that it's Black History Month, I think this is an excellent subject. He's a perfect example of what society looks for in a hero. He's not saving lives in a sense, but he is putting real practicality in our lives into an amazing perspective, and he's doing it well. He's making people think for themselves. He's helping people think for themselves, I should say. And my hope and prayer is that he has an entire army of like-minded Black people behind him, because we need that. The entire country needs that, not just the Black community. We all need that. We all need this as an example for us. We want to hold hands with our brothers, regardless of race, color, creed, blah, blah. We want to do that, right? I had a dream, correct? So it was nice to learn things in this special, not just laugh. So the very next thing he actually talks about is Jack Johnson. He said that his favorite song is Bubble Toes. Just kidding. Not that Jack Johnson, you guys. Jack Johnson. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information on Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson is an American boxer born March 31st, 1878. He became the first Black heavyweight champion of the world during the Jim Crow era. He was born in Galveston, Texas, and he was known as the Galveston Giant. On October 1st, 1910, he was arrested, and he spent, I think, 10 years in jail. Now, before he was arrested, and that, mind you, his crime was pretty much fucking white women. That was the crime. So in order for the government to be able to put Jack Johnson in jail, now, mind you, this was only, the abolishment of slavery wasn't that far off. Much, I think less than 60 to 100 years, if that. Probably not even that. So Black Americans were not seen as human yet. In fact, what makes Jack Johnson's career so prominent and historical is he was only allowed to fight other Black fighters. When he called out a white fighter, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but when he called out a white fighter, say, man, let's go, I'll fuck you up. Everybody was outraged. People were outraged. Like, no, how dare you? You can't fight him. Like this, the names and the things and this, that, and no, you can't fight him. Like, never. That would never happen. Like, you are the champion. I forgot who it was. Another well-known boxer, by the way, but I forgot who it was. I should have written it down. But anyway, he challenged him. So let's say Mike Tyson challenges Canelo. I know, two different weight classes, etc. But let's just say it's that. Two very prominent boxers of different races are in talks of maybe setting up a fight. So it eventually happens. Jack Johnson actually gets the opportunity to fight this fellow. Jack Johnson beats his ass, you guys. And again, the entire country's outraged. They don't like it. How dare you? Like, how did the Black man won? How did this happen? What are we doing? And I like outrage. Again, this is 1910. 1910. The year he won. I don't know what year that is, but I mean, go figure. It's in the early 1900s. So I can't imagine the balls and the bravery for somebody of color to be able to put themselves in a position to do that and do it successfully. So in 1910, the government passed something called the Mann Act, MANN. You can look it up. It's still in existence today, actually. The Mann Act. I'm going to read to you what it is real quick. The White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, U.S. Federal Law 18 U.S.C. 2421, that criminalizes transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution, debauchery, or other immoral sexual purposes. Primarily aimed at combating forced prostitution and human trafficking, the law was historically used for political, racial, and personal persecution. The law was historically used for political, racial, and personal persecution. So the Mann Act passed in 1910. Jack Johnson was arrested on October 1st, 1910, for the Mann Act. That's where he spent time in jail for, the Mann Act. So essentially his life was over. His career was over. He's quoted, and Dave Chappelle does such a powerful job. I couldn't find it. I didn't want to risk more copyright, obviously. So I didn't look too hard for it because it's such a powerful moment in the stand-up. But he quotes Jack Johnson to saying, "I risked everything for my pleasure." Now, I know that seems to sound a bit selfish. I risked everything for my pleasure. But I think the beauty in seeing and saying something like that and witnessing somebody in that era, the era of probably outside of slavery, the next biggest oppression that people of color actually experienced was that. The era of, yeah, we'll let you live and breathe, but that's kind of it. We don't want anything else to do with you guys, or whatever the fuck else you guys do. We don't want to be a part of it. I mean, you look back at it now, and it seems like that's what makes it funny. I think that's what makes Dave Chappelle's stand up so brilliant, is that it is funny. Guy went to jail for fucking white women. You know what I mean? But can you imagine how much worse that could have been for him? All they did was jail him, and yes, that was wrong. Shouldn't have happened. But it could have been a lot worse. He could have been murdered. He could have been hung. He could have been all the things that the horror stories that we hear and have heard and have to carry with us still to this day. It could have been a lot worse. And I think it's brilliant. I think there's some wisdom behind that. I risked everything for my pleasure. I risked everything, and he did. Jack Johnson actually risked everything for his pleasure. He didn't give a shit who was watching, what the consequences were going to be. He wasn't going to live by their rules and their thumb. He wasn't going to do that. Just like Dave Chappelle wasn't going to let what we do here to try to stop him from what he's doing there. He ended up leaving. He did it somewhere else. Somewhere it was fine to do. He risked everything for his pleasure, in a sense. I find it poetic. I truly do. I find it poetic. So, back to Diddy. It turns out that P. Diddy is also charged with the Mann Act. What? He's not. I looked it up. He has other charges, obviously. There are some charges that are disputable because of statute of limitations. So there's a lot of things he wasn't charged for that he could have been charged for. But as it stands today, P. Diddy is serving time in jail for a law that went into effect in 1910 that was solely supposed to only affect Black men. That's the only reason why it exists today, is because of Jack Johnson. How are we going to stop this guy? How are we going to stop him? The Unstoppable N-Word Act. Brilliant. Dave Chappelle is absolutely genius. I have other clips. Hold on. I gotta find them. I forgot what I shared with you guys already. That's that one. I mean, from what we know about Dave's career, it wasn't without its flaws. He left Comedy Central on a whim. He left the Chappelle Show dead in the water, even though it was doing just fine. Oh, I wanted to share this with you guys. Before we move on, just to put some respect on it, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to share this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is there we go. This is Jack Johnson. That is a white woman. That is a white woman looking at him admirably. This is Jack Johnson, you guys. I wanted to share that with you. I should have had it up while I was talking about him. Hello, lady. That's the whole reason why I download it. Is that so it could be up for effect. So I can talk to you guys and be like, oh, Jack Johnson, and then have the picture. But anyway, this is him, ladies and gentlemen. What else do I have for you guys? I have a few more audios that I wanted to share with you because, again, I don't have the picture. I do have that one. Now, he ends the stand-up by telling us, kind of warning us, actually. I'm going to stop sharing real quick. He ends the stand-up warning us of, look, if you hear me saying things that don't sound like me, if you see me being a little bit out of character, we're going to have to have a code word of how you guys are going to know that it's not me anymore. And once it's not me anymore, stop listening. Don't listen anymore. And it's kind of creepy, actually. He ends it. He ends it with it. Like, it's almost like he goes balls out. And this is the closer that he used for Americans. He had another closer that he used in Saudi Arabia. This is the one he used specifically speaking to us here. And again, this is exactly how he closed the stand-up. Again, it's audio only. I apologize.
I need you to protect me from is co-option. My voice has become more powerful than I intended it to be. And I cannot let these niggas do me like Charlie Kirk, or even worse than that. What if these niggas trip me up somehow, co-opt me, and then make me say the things that they want me to say? Well, we can't have that. So, just in case, we need a code. It's gotta be something that I can say so that if I say it, you know that these niggas got me. And don't listen to nothing that I say after I say those words. But don't tell anybody what it is, but it's gotta be something that, you know what I mean, that I would never say. Oh, I know what the code is. The code word is, I stand with Israel. Thank you very much, and good night.
Yo, you guys. Now I have, oh, why is that making me emotional? Oh my God. I have some thoughts on that, actually. A lot of times, again, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on real quick, but a lot of times what happens to celebrities and people in the public eye, they have to make a choice. They have to make a choice whether they're going to bend the knee to what the propagandists want, or fall off the face of the earth. And a lot of times they subtly make that choice by saying things that they don't mean. I mean, a lot of times they make that choice by saying things that they don't mean. They just have no choice but to say them. They have no choice but to do them. A lot of them are contracted for the one eye thing. This right here, a lot of them are contracted to have in every photo shoot do a one eye thing. That's why you see that very commonplace. It's not a postmodern model thing. It's a thing that they do to show their solidarity towards the evil elites that run the globe. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I don't know anybody else who thinks this but me. I think this was Dave Chappelle actually bending the knee. I think he was warning us. I think he was actually telling us, it's over. I don't need you guys to listen to me anymore, because anything that I say from here on out, anything I do from here on out, isn't going to be real. It's not real. Israel is not real. I believe that. So that's how he closes his special. That's how he closes the very last stand-up that Dave Chappelle did. And I think it's the very last stand-up special that Dave Chappelle will ever do. He ended it. Now he ends a lot of them this way, but he ended it. The closing credits were black and white photos of him with other people, him with other celebrities, him. There's a picture of him and P. Diddy. There's pictures of him and by himself, and it seemed to me like a farewell, like like you would see at a memorial service, the pictures that you would see of a person when you're trying to remember them for who they were. That's what we saw in the end credits. And it saddened me. It was such a good special. It was so brilliantly done, in my opinion. But it saddened me because it almost made me feel like I actually lost a friend. I don't know Dave Chappelle. I never met him. And I'd die if I ever met him, to be honest. I would love it. But it truly did feel like Dave Chappelle was actually having to say the things, said the thing, and now it's over. Now, a lot of people are saying, he didn't say it. He was saying he's not going to say it. But he said it. He said it where people can hear it. He said it so that it stays here, just like 9/11, just like Nick Berg, just like Charlie Kirk. He said something that is so prominently just, oh, whoa, those are the words. Those are the words. Oh my goodness. He said them. Regardless of how you want to see it, it's out. It's already done. It's happened. I think Dave Chappelle has been compromised for years. I think Dave Chappelle has done his best to dodge bullets when it comes to being able to keep his integrity intact. I have one last clip for you guys, and it's one from 2009. I don't know the year, but it was his comeback after he went nuts and went to Africa after dropping Chappelle's show on Comedy Central. He came back, and the very first person he saw and interviewed with when he came back was Oprah Winfrey. There's a lot we can say about Miss Oprah Winfrey, ladies and gentlemen, but we ain't gonna go there today. So I will share that last clip with you when I find it. There it is. Again, I apologize, but it is audio only. 1 second. It's actually a very famous clip. You've heard it, you've seen it, you can probably imagine it as I'm playing it. But this is Dave Chappelle being interviewed by Miss Oprah Winfrey, saying probably the most profound fucking thing you will ever hear anybody say.
Worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy, they're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
God, I hate that noise. Maybe the environment is a little sick. I risked everything for my pleasure. But maybe the environment is a little sick. I think I'm going to end it there, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. I had a blast doing this episode. I apologize. I wasn't able to find my dream clips the way I wanted to, but I did my best. You guys stuck it out with me. I appreciate it so much. Shout out all of you. Shout out New Zealand. Shout out Lake Paris. Shout out where Mikey lives. I'm not going to say it. And shout out Norwalk. Thanks, Judge, for being here. Love you guys. If you guys liked this episode, do me a favor, leave a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it if you guys did. It's free to do. We love free things here, just so you know. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Find me on Instagram. Follow me there, please. If you would like to get minute-by-minute updates as to what is going on next with the podcast, I try my best to post here in shorts and whatnot. I do my best, but I'm old, so I'm not always the best at it. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you Thursday. I have not planned anything out for Thursday's episode yet, but we'll make it fun. I'll let you guys know what it is tomorrow, and we'll make it fun. You guys all have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys soon. Love you guys.